can't talk for long before I start talking rubbish. That's nothing new, by the way. I've always been like that. The other reason is that Karen likes to talk.
Thank you. As he said, I like to talk. I think it's really important for Gavin and I that you realise we're not experts on anything. We're just ordinary people like yourselves whose life maybe have turned out a little bit different than we anticipated. But we're here today to share our experiences, some of which you'll recognise, share our journey, some of the times that we felt in control and powerful, like you probably have. Many times we felt very, very powerless. But the one thing we've got in common here today, doesn't matter whether you work in services, whether you're a family member, whether you have a disability and impairment, is that we're all people, and that's the premise from which we start. So we're going to start with a little ordinary live video clip that we're going to show you, not because it's the best, but because it shows you, just gives you a flavour of who we are and who we are as people.
This is an ordinary life. It's an ordinary life. It's an ordinary life. It's an ordinary. No one knows the score. The story like a star. But an end that you will not release, requiring a plan, some painful plan. And nothing is quite what it seems. Did not swear. It's such a beautiful dress that you wear. It's but a game. This is an ordinary life. It's an ordinary life. It's an ordinary life. It's an ordinary life. It's an ordinary.
People with an ordinary work life, family life and social life. Not dissimilar, I wouldn't think, to your own. And it was way back in 2003 when we were living our lives, and we played hard, we worked hard, and we were on the what we call the snakes and ladders border life. And we were doing all right, we were right near the top, just doing what people do really. And unfortunately for us, as often happens for many, many people, the dice of life rolled, and down the snake we went. And we found ourselves in a situation where we were, as Gavin calls himself, an unwanted guest of the NHS. And it was on the 10th of April 2003 at 20 to 1 when 3 neurologists, not one because they come in threes, don't they? They're like dogs, they hunt in packs. And they came in the room and they nodded their head and they showed like they do. and they gave Gavin a label, and we're people who believe the labels belong on bottles, packets and jars, so we said that's all right, we'll go home now. And I don't know whether we were naive, whether we were stupid, scared, maybe a combination of all three, but we thought we'll go home, we've just got a bit of a dodgy leg, and that's where we were. And we went home to carry on with our ordinary life, but for us ordinary life changed very, very quickly. We only had a matter of about 4 weeks before things started to change very, very quickly. Gavin needed the support of a wheelchair after 4 weeks. He couldn't walk very far. From that then what happened, Gavin's eyesight started to fail too, so Gavin could no longer drive. Then from that really, we've got 3 teenagers that we call me, myself and I, because they're quite selfish. It is all about them, don't ever think it's not. They've grown up now, they're not teenagers, but they're still me, myself and I. But we've just got partners as well now. So it just gets worse. But me, myself and I used to want, can you take me to the bank, Dad, because I need to get some of your money. And Gavin used to say, well actually no I can't, because I can't drive, and when I get there I can't see the numbers, and when I get there I can't press the numbers because my hands won't work either. So every cloud has a silver lining, we've got a bit of the money. But all these things were going wrong. The skills that Gavin had gone away, the relationships that we had, people wanted us, we had loads of friends, really good social life, people wanted to know what was going on, and they started to stay away because I couldn't answer the question because I didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what was going on. People get scared, don't they, of what they don't understand and what they don't know. So the friendships and the relationships changed. The roles that Gavin played had all gone away because he was a dad, he was the chauffeur, he did the cleaning, he used to work, he did the accounts, he did the DIY. All these roles that he did all went away. And when the roles went away, what you started to do, I have to pick those roles up, so I became cleaner. I tried to do the DIY, but we won't talk about that. I had to do all the driving, I had to do all managing the money, I had to do everything, as well as working full time. But so on a serious note, as the roles went, Gavin started to question himself. Gavin's got the best sense of humour of anybody I've ever met. But even that started to go away. And the identity, who am I? Where have I gone? Where's my confidence gone? Where's my self-esteem? And instead of being that big 6'3", naughty boy, rugby playing fool that once went out for a pint of milk and didn't come back for 3 days, and then he brought bread, he changed into this small person in a wheelchair who didn't know who he was, which was really, really sad and difficult. And then our house, because we're trying to carry on as we do, and you just buy bits to help you manage, don't you? So the house started to look like a nursing home. We had gutter crutches, we had furry crutches, we had sticks, we had shelves, we had this, we had that. Awful house. But then the teenagers and all the friends started to stay away because it's not got much street cred, has it, living in a nursing home? Which we're really quite sad, because we quite like them really. You know, they get on our nerves, but they're all right. Then he had to retire from work because he couldn't do the 8 till 5 job that he always did. So then you've got no skills, no relationships, no role, no identity. Then you've got no income, which compounds everything else. And then one morning, I was ironing at about 10 to 2 in the morning, like you do when you've got a million and 1,000 jobs to do, to make sure that me, myself and I were ready for school and college, that I could get ready and go to work, so that he'd be okay till I came home. And I wasn't crying because what's the point, but my eyes were leaking. And I thought, I've got to do something here. We need to make some changes. And I said to him, you know, we need to get somebody in here and try and give us a bit of a help. And he said, for God's sake, Karen, we're not having none of them social services in our house. And you know what, I agreed with him. And do you know why I agreed with him? He says, I'm not having a social worker. And do you know why he didn't want one? Because he already had one, because I'm a social worker. But we didn't want them in our house. We really didn't want them in our house. And we invited them in because we were desperate, like you are. And they came along, and with good intent, I don't know, whoever came on that day would have been the wrong person. She came along, she tried to do the right thing, she brought her assessment forms, and the first question that she said was, not about how's your life, how's your breathing, how's your bladder, how's your mobility, how do you manage your hair? You haven't got any. She's not a bad person, but the way they do it, the way the systems are set up to ask the questions. It's all about what you can't do, not about how's your life and what little bit you're struggling with. And then she got on. She could see we were tired, she could see I were desperate, and she said, I think what you need to do, Gavin, you need something to do in the daytime. And he probably did. So she suggested daycare. Gavin has spent 10 years trying to close day centres and move them, people into local communities, into smaller hubs. Why would he go back? Why would a 35-year-old want to go to a day centre with people who he doesn't know? He needs to be with people doing things he wants to do, with people who he likes, who like him. You know, we're not saying day centres are bad. What I'm saying is make it appropriate for the person. And then she saw me, and by this time I was crying, and it was frustration. And what she actually said was, look at Karen, look at the state of Karen. I mean, thank God I got up and got showered. She should have seen me 4 hours before. But look at the state of her, she's tired. And one of the things that we said when he was in hospital to the consultant was, we're going home now, we're going skiing. And he said, skiing? I said, skiing, spending kids' inheritance. And that's what we've done. We've gone away, we've worked, we've gone away, we've been everywhere. And then she said, you need to go to respite. At which point I jumped up and said, respite, Gavin, she's sending us to Dominicans, there is a God. At which point she sat on the couch and couldn't breathe. And off she pops, and when she'd gone, we're naughty. We sat round our kitchen table, because everything happens round our kitchen table. And we talked about the systems, we talked about how difficult they were, and we were meant to know. We were meant to be able to get through these systems, and they still felt stupid to us. And we said it was confusing, inflexible, risk-averse, predictable. And what we said was, they were trying to send us to rehab, and we thought it was them.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no.
We thought it was them that needed to go to rehab, the systems within the systems.
We're on the road to nowhere. Come on inside.
And we had all this legislation telling us about the direction of travel, about where we could go, that was giving people who work within these systems permission to help people do things differently, but we couldn't quite do it. And why could we not do it? And I don't know the answer to that to this day, because we're still trying to make everything better and different, but we can't do it. But for me, as we've heard about the legal duties about personal health budgets, the duties include to promote and publicise the availability of them, provide information, advice and support, and to ensure you have the systems and processes in place for this to happen. So my question to you, everybody in this room, is come on St Helens, are you ready? Because what do we need to do to make this happen here? So very, very quickly for us, we got a little direct payment way back in 2006. It was actually £80 a week. And we lived with that. And what we actually did, we got back our big life, we had some support that was paid, we went back to work, we had a very medical bit in the middle that we had to have, but we had holidays, we had a bit of technology, we had a bit of life and alternative therapies, and we got back to where we were. And we were right back up there at it, when, as things often do when you're not ready, things happen, mishaps happen. At the time we'd been asking for help, and we lived in an old terraced house with stairs that are like that. You know them sort, don't you? And I'm not a bad person. You know, I do what I can do to manage in the best way I can, and I bet if I ask you all here now, those of you who care for somebody, do things the best way you can. Might not be the way that the procedures say always, might not always be the right way, but we do it in the best way that we know how at that time. Is that fair? I see nodding heads. You make me feel better when I say that, because I always feel bad when I look at this. What we did, we had this old house, and we developed a system, didn't we, of getting up the stairs. And Gavin, what do you call this system that we had?
Half-assed.
Half-assed system. Gavin's very tall, but it was a system. And Gavin's very tall when he stood up. He's 6'3", and if I stretch, I can do 5'1". So our half-assed system was getting him up the stairs. He'd lean over, I'd lift, push. Lift, push. You can see it because you're all moving now. You're doing it, aren't you? Yeah. They're the latest dance this Christmas. And we did this for 6 months, even though we'd been asking for help, because we knew it was getting hard. And one Sunday night, because it never goes wrong, does it, between 9 and 5, Monday to Friday, it's always between them goddamn weekend hours. With goodwill, I bent down and I'm pushing, lift, push. and he overbalanced and I was bent down, and instead of letting him fall, I tried to catch him. But in